this will affect the rest of my life. I think about this every day now, but instead of it being like an intrusive thought that hurts me, it's, I can't believe this happened. Like, how lucky am I? How grateful am I?
This wasn't just a celebrity wedding. This was a power transaction disguised as romance. And the bride? America's sweetheart turned global megastar, Taylor Swift. Not in Paris, not in Nashville, not even in some luxury Caribbean resort where paparazzi bribe bellboys for a blurry shot. No, this happened in the last place you'd expect. A remote, centuries-old estate in the Scottish Highlands, surrounded by walls so high they block even drones. No one in the press got wind of it because the handful of guests, fewer than 20, all signed NDAs, so strict they included clauses about life estate damages if broken. A former tour staffer who claims they were there by accident says the wedding was eerily formal and unlike anything you'd expect from her. No sparkly dresses, no just married champagne toasts, no Instagram stories. Instead, it was candlelit and silent, with an officiant flown in from Iceland under a fake name. The bride wore cream silk, no designer labels, no tags, just hand-sewn fabric supposedly from a private atelier in Italy. And the groom? That's where it gets strange. He wasn't a rock star, he wasn't an actor, he wasn't even famous. He was something more dangerous, the kind of man who never needs to be famous because his power is measured in what he owns. Old European money, generational wealth, family estates older than the US Constitution, a man who can pick up the phone and make a problem disappear before lunch. And according to whispers, that's exactly why Taylor married him. This wasn't about romance, at least not entirely. In 2018, Taylor was locked in a career-defining war with her former record label over ownership of her masters. Every headline was about her losing control of her own work. Enter this mystery man, a financial titan with ties to law firms nicknamed the Butchers, for their ability to bleed their enemies dry in court. He didn't just promise to protect her, he promised to obliterate anyone who stood in her way. The ceremony was quick, deliberate, and strangely joyless. No bouquet toss, no public kiss, just a contract signing, a private dinner, and the understanding that both were entering an arrangement that was half love story, half corporate merger. And here's where it gets bizarre. Embedded in the marriage license is a divorce clause, so severe, so strategically cruel, that even industry veterans can't believe she signed it. It's the kind of clause that doesn't just split assets, it threatens to dismantle everything she's built, from her catalogue to her reputation. And now, that clause is more than just a footnote. It's a ticking time bomb. Forget what you know about celebrity prenups. Forget the polite, you keep yours, I keep mine arrangements that keep tabloids quiet.
I get a call from my mom and she's like, you got your music. Yeah. And so sorry that it's literally been so long since this happened.
The document attached to this marriage, according to a legal leak that's been floating around certain New York and London law circles, reads more like a ransom note than a contract. First, if Taylor ever files for divorce for any reason, the husband gets immediate control over a portion of her publishing rights. Not shared control, sole control. That means he could decide when her music gets used, in what movies, in what commercials, or even if it gets shelved forever. Second, he gets ownership of select unreleased recordings. Think about that for a second. Songs she's written but never put out, vault tracks her fans would pay thousands to hear. He could leak them, sell them, or worse, rewrite the narrative of who created them. And the strangest clause of all? He gets first rights to produce any biopic about her life. Yes, the man could green-light a movie about Taylor Swift without her approval, choose who plays her, decide which parts of her life to emphasize or erase. In the wrong hands, that's not just embarrassing, it's career sabotage. The money side is brutal too. If the marriage ends before 10 years, she owes him a separation settlement rumored to be $500 million, tax-free. For a billionaire, that's survivable, but for someone whose fortune is tied to her brand's value, it's devastating. Why sign this? Because in 2018, she needed him. He had the connections to muscle out her enemies and the influence to tip industry power in her favor. But every favor comes with a cost, and this one was locked in legal ink. And now the whispers are getting louder. He's been seen at dinner with executives from her rival label. He's been photographed with people she's openly feuded with. To some, it looks like coincidence. To others, it looks like chess. Here's the thing, and I'm saying this straight to you. If you're not subscribed to this channel right now, you're going to miss the next drop. Ms.CathyKnows is about to tell you the part they will try to pull off the internet. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and be ready, because the demand he's making now is darker than anything in that contract. They haven't lived together in years. Their lives are in separate countries. The marriage, for all intents and purposes, exists only in legal paperwork and occasional whispers in elite European circles. But that doesn't mean it's dormant. In fact, it may be more dangerous now than it was the day she signed it. Multiple insiders claim he's been quietly compiling an archive, home videos, personal photos, handwritten letters, not as mementos, but as weapons. Allegedly, some of these recordings contain private moments that, if leaked, would shift public perception of her forever. The real danger lies in the clause trigger. In their agreement, if he files for divorce first, he owes her nothing, zero. But she gets locked into a 15-year silence clause. That means she couldn't talk about the marriage in interviews, in a memoir, or even hint about it in her music until 2040. For a songwriter whose entire brand is based on personal storytelling, that's a creative death sentence. And here's the nightmare scenario. Certain marital partnership clauses allegedly allow him to take action on shared intellectual property without her consent. That means he could start selling rights, licensing songs, or even blocking re-recordings before the divorce is finalized. Some in her camp think this is exactly what he's preparing for. He's been making quiet moves in London's entertainment law circles, allegedly setting up shell companies that could hold her music rights. Companies she wouldn't even know to look for. If that sounds like a plot ripped from a political thriller, it's because it is. Except this one's playing out in real life, behind closed doors, while fans are debating tour outfits on Twitter. The choice in front of her is devastating. Stay in the marriage and live under his shadow, or divorce him and risk losing the very empire she's spent her entire adult life building. And if you think you know which one she'll choose, you don't.